Hello and welcome to Copenhagen, the bike-friendly design and architecture capital of Denmark. A few months ago, I had an epiphany. I was thinking that if exceptional leadership and a really good strategy can lead to exceptional outcomes, why do we run our families on good instinct and good judgment? Like, why don't we have software that can help with that? It's complicated, right? I have 100 things to look after at work. I have a million things to follow up on AI. I have to look after my personal trainer and his demands. I have a family to look after. I have parenting to do. So I just sort of gave up on that. And late that night, I was visited by one of my favorite authors, James Clear, and this is what he had to say. Hey, so you might be wondering, what is FamilyOS? FamilyOS is a family management application. And in family, what do we have in family? We have family members, and we have their dreams, we have their aspirations, we have their behavior, their values. We have the chores, the parenting, the grocery ordering, the visa form filling, and we have a number of different things. This app, when we built it for the very first time, it turned out like really, really nice. I had this dream. I was thinking that, I will put up a nice, iPad on a wall in home, and it will have like this always on, like a live ticker kind of thing. And then, there is multimodal ability, so we will talk to it, and it's AI. And, I was very, very excited. But what happened? Well, it didn't go to plan, obviously, but inadvertently, so turns out that on that occasion, my dreams had to take a backseat, because even though my family was supportive, it was too much effort, trying to maintain the data and input everything and manage everything. So just a few days later, FamilyOS went headless. Headless meaning it did not have any UI of any kind. And then the home for it would be your favorite AI application. So it would be ChatGPT or Claude in my case. I'm on an ultra plan, so I have a decent subscription. And you expose this as a set of MCP tools, and then you connect to it once, and then you can use the multimodal ability, and you can use any sort of interaction pattern that you like, and then it becomes fully embedded within your AI application. All right, so one more thing. The models behind this application, like the Claude models, are, if you're using them on API, they're not very cheap, right? So they are expensive. And the cost also became a factor as we began to use it more and more over the weeks. So suddenly what happens is that all these goal tracking and commenting and then scheduling and all of these kind of abilities no longer become really difficult to do. So you always have your AI application besides you, and then you need something, you ask, you have a schedule that you want to talk about, you have a goal that you want to follow up on, or you want to provide some sort of an update, then all you have to do is to just ask. Moreover, these tools have access to my Gmail, these tools have access to my calendar, and they have access to web, and they also have access to things like deep research. So if I am talking about tracking some kind of a parenting goal, then all we have to do is to make sure that we have the topic well researched, the coping strategies are found out, and that it all comes together. So there is a lesson here somewhere. It's better to actually bring your applications and tools to your favorite AI than to take AI to your favorite applications and tools. In 1961, John F. Kennedy made this famous speech, and he asked, don't ask what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. I think that was like a seminal message, and it's time that we change this message in the age of AI. We have to ask now. Ask not what, I'm not getting this right. Ask not how AI can be prompted by you, ask how you can be prompted by AI. That's right. Thankfully, with the headless architecture, this works really well in FamilyOS. How it works is that now we move from, let's say, Claude AI or ChatGPT to more powerful harnesses. We move to Codex, or we move to Claude Cowork, which have native kind of scheduling abilities. And let's talk a little bit about the scheduling abilities. The scheduling in these things is pretty dumb. So it runs on what you call as like cron jobs. Cron jobs can be like, okay, wake up every morning, or wake up 3 times a day. That's not very smart. So in FamilyOS, we've built something called as a wake up schedule, or like a manifest that is smarter and better in comparison with all of the cron jobs that you have to manage. So it wakes up once every morning and then figures out what's due, like what's on my calendar, or what's on my goals, or what's on my, is there a travel coming up. And FamilyOS has this system of primitives, so it tracks things like, as you can see on the screen, habits or routines or projects or tasks or dreams or aspirations, and these are the things that it helps track. So if something is relevant, it will bring up like this contextual information back to you. So this is the dream, right? The age of custom software is upon us. Now you can have software that is tailor-made for your family. That's not all. There is one more thing. The software has reached a point where it can be self-improving. So I thought it might be nice to implement like a self-improvement feature in FamilyOS. Self-improvement itself has got two parts to it, right? So the first part is actually learning. So how does FamilyOS find out that it has something wrong, or that the user needs a feature or a change? Well, there is the application itself is hosted as a container on Azure, and then it has a schedule. So it kind of wakes up every morning at 2 o'clock and then goes through the history, which is logged, like every single MCP interaction or every single direct chat conversation with the application is logged, and it goes through to find out if there were any errors or if there was any issues with the interaction. And then obviously it kind of synthesizes a mechanism using its own intelligence. Not only that, it is also able to store information that, like, the user has said, it might be nice if we had a different kind of primitive. So while tracking habit, it should have its own life cycle, and then you can log feedback like that, and then it will be able to implement that. So every week, let's say on a Friday or a Saturday, it will send me some information about these are the possible improvements, like a plan. All I have to do is open my mobile phone, go into the Claude Code app, approve it, and then the rest of the part is CI/CD. This should not be foreign to anybody working in technology. Okay, so let's be real. The purpose of this kind of a project is as much learning as it is utility. As a result of this project, I was able to understand how to make this whole thing run end to end on my phone without ever touching a MacBook or a computer. With this process, I was able to learn how to create even a semblance of like a self-improving software. As a result, I was able to actually figure out how to do this in an economic manner, like, in a frugal manner, by using my Claude subscription. So there were so many learnings for me, and I hope that you enjoyed that process. That is all I have to share with you today. And from Copenhagen, this is bye-bye.